beginning of 18th century, making it the oldest in Asia. Dharohar, an initiative by SEBI, is an endeavor to capture the evolution of our nation's securities market. Dharohar has three distinct offerings that allows users to step into the evolution of India's securities market. Interactive timeline, immersive galleries, and informative website. With interactive timeline, uncover the milestones with seamless navigation features, from pivotal events to iconic personalities, and from various markets to their regulations. In its second key offering, Dharohar brings you 8 distinct virtual galleries like share certificates, mutual funds, commodity markets, debt, equity markets, and personalities. The experience doesn't end here. Lastly, the website is a unifying platform for all visual and textual information available across Dharohar. Here, one can dive into a wealth of knowledge like never before. Watch interviews of eminent personalities that have shaped the Indian securities market. Understand complex market concepts through engaging informative videos. Explore key moments of India's financial history with newspaper clippings and share certificates. This is Dharohar, a bridge between legacy and progress. Preserving history, safeguarding the present, educating generations, inspiring the future, and continuing to grow and evolve with time.
So that was a video on SEBI's virtual museum, Dharohar, Milestones in the Indian Securities Market. It is a comprehensive digital repository documenting the evolution of the Indian securities market through historical archives, newspaper clippings, interviews with eminent personalities. Participants are encouraged to visit the museum for further learning at mism.org. Link will be pasted in the chat box for your reference. So, hello and good evening, everyone. I am Mansi Ganekar from the Investor Education Department of NISM. NISM is the capacity building initiative of SEBI. We at NISM conduct a wide range of activities at various levels with the objective of improving quality standards in the securities markets. At NISM, we work in 5 broad areas: long and short term academic programs, certifications for market intermediaries, e learning programs, training programs for working professionals and academia, and various investor education initiatives. As we proudly celebrate India's 80th Independence Day, a very warm welcome to our Independence Day special webinar on building the spirit of financial freedom. To help us understand this journey of financial independence, we are delighted to have with us Ms. Malvika Kapoor, a seasoned financial planner with over a decade of experience in holistic financial planning and wealth management. She is an MBA in finance, certified financial planner, and certified financial transitionist with expertise in helping individuals make informed financial decisions and navigate important financial and life transitions. We are pleased to have her with us today to share her valuable insights on building the spirit of financial freedom. With that, let us begin with the session. Over to you, Malvika ma'am.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Good evening, everyone, and a very happy Independence Day in advance. So I'll quickly share my screen. Uh, yes. So tomorrow, as we celebrate Independence Day, we celebrate something fundamental: financial freedom. Okay. Financial freedom is not about having a huge purpose, high income. It's about making our choices. Okay. Choice to decide when you want to retire, choice to pursue something that you are passionate about. So today we are going to talk about building the spirit of financial freedom. So let me start with a quick question. What causes the most stress in your life? So if you all can just scan this QR code and answer this question. I can see the answers coming in. Job, health, mostly finances, others. Relationship. I can say it's mostly finances. So financial stress can affect the decisions that we make, right? And what we think, how we behave. So with this survey also, it clearly says that financial matter is the top cause of stress. Okay. So it tells us very important thing. Money is not all about financial issue. It's about life issue as well. Okay. Money can affect our relationships, our mental health, physical well-being, and social life. So when we talk about financial plan, it's not about only the number or tax planning, investment planning. It's about creating a foundation. So how do we create the foundation? And before that, what are the mindset barriers that we come across? So it's not for me. Okay, it's too difficult. I don't have time. Other person can do it for me. I don't want to learn. Okay. Before you think about all these barriers, you can understand that it's a life skill. So when you start learning about how to create a financial plan, you are also learning a new skill. Okay. Is it too difficult? Then the hard work you are putting in, okay, you can prioritize. And it's okay to ask for help. If you are asking for help, please understand that you can also learn about at least the basics of fundamentals. So, how to be financially stress free? We can start with creating a budget, create an emergency corpus, risk protection, set financial goals, understand risk tolerance, start investing for a secure future, and diversification. So, I am going to talk about all these things in detail. Let's start with creating a budget. You can start listing down your expenses on regular basis. Okay, even a single penny. If you are eating out, if you are going for a movie, okay, if you are meeting a friend and then having a cup of coffee, all these expenses start writing. Even I think we have lots of apps also where you can start recording your each and every expenses. Ask yourself, do I want to or do I need to? Okay. Don't restrict yourself. It's just to understand that what is important in your life and accordingly you can spend on it. make sure to invest your additional surplus. So once you start creating a budget, you will understand the surplus you are left with and then how you can utilize best. Clear your debts first. So it's also important to understand that, do I have this money available to clear my debt? In case if I have this money, should I need to clear my debt first or should I create an emergency purpose? Okay. So what do I need? It also acts as a financial buffer because you don't know what happens next. Okay. It could mean that, uh, next day you are, uh, there's a job loss or unexpected expense coming in, right? Maybe your family needs it. So these type of things which we don't plan for may come into the picture and could affect your surplus or the investments that you have done for long-term goals. How much should I set up? So start with creating 3 to 6 months of expenses. Okay. This is a general look. Okay. It can go up to 12 months of expenses as well. It totally depends on the situation, the experiences that you have, right? So it depends that how much emergency corpus you will be comfortable with and where to invest. So idea is not to generate a very high return from this corpus. It's the idea is to have safe and easy accessible investments so that whenever the emergency arises, you have this money available. Manage your debts wisely. So debts are not very bad. Okay. It could help you to achieve your very important goal like purchasing a home. Okay. So debts are not very bad. It's just that how to manage it wisely. Okay. Using these credit cards and for impulse purchases, that can cause difficulty, right? But once it starts impacting your cash flow, then it's a problematic situation. But when you have a comfortable debt servicing ratio and managing it wisely, then it's not at all bad. Risk protection. So it all depends the type of risk that you require, the type of protection that you require. Okay. It could mean that having a life insurance in place or you have enough assets that you don't need life insurance. So the maths, okay, that needs to be done to understand that what is the kind of protection you need. It could also mean that you need critical illness, you need personal accident cover, or you need home insurances. Okay, so it's all about having a mental peace because imagine that unexpected health situation occurs and then whatever you have saved you are spending on that health requirement. So it's important to have these covers in place so that your financial goals are not impacted because of these unfortunate situations. So the type of insurance which I was talking about, life insurance, health, disability insurance, critical illness, personal accident. So there are various types of insurance and accordingly you can understand that which type of insurance. Then setting a financial goal. When you have a purpose, okay, it gives you accountability. It gives you a sense of direction. So instead of saying that you want to invest 20,000 a month, decide how much money you need for that particular goal and then start investing towards it. So let's say you have a goal coming up, which is a travel. Okay. So first identify that what type of goal coming up. What is the time horizon? Are you planning for next month? Are you planning for after 3 years? Okay. So let's say it is after 3 years from now in 2029. then the amount you need today. Okay. So imagine if you were to go to or you were to go on vacation today, then what is the kind of corpus you need today? So let's say it is 5 lakhs today. We will have to factor the inflation because it is 3 years from now. So let's say inflation is 6%. Then the corpus required today is 5.96 lakhs. It's not 5 lakhs. 3 years from now, it's going to be 5.96 lakhs. Now the risk profile. So need to understand, are you an aggressive investor? Are you a moderate investor or conservative investor? Because if you are aggressive investor, that means you are okay to take high risk, okay to invest high amount of corpus in a volatile market, then the returns could vary 8%. If you are moderate, then you will be taking a lesser risk. So that means the returns are going to impact. So that means 7. And if you are conservative, so let's say it is 3.5. So then the amount that you need towards meeting that requirement will vary. Because if you are investing in an instrument which is giving you a high return, then you need lesser amount. If the returns are lower, then the amount required is could be higher. Okay? So let's say next goal is retirement. Okay, identify again that it's a retirement. It's 30 years from now. Amount that you need today, 50,000 per month. Again, factoring the inflation, so 6%, so which could mean the corpus that you need in 2056 is 10 CR. Again, understanding what type of risk profile that you have, and depending on that, the returns, and then accordingly the monthly investment required. So, as I was talking about the risk tolerance, so it's very important to understand that you are a conservative investor or moderate or aggressive investor, because amount that, let's say, two people require the same amount. Okay, but how they are investing, okay, how they are taking the risk could vary, and then their monthly investment will also vary. Okay? So start investing for a secure future. So let's say monthly investment that person A is doing 10,000, again the person B is doing the same 10,000. They start at age 30 and another person start at age 40. Okay, they are both stopping their investment at age 60. Okay, they and then holding it till the age of 60. So person A hold it for 30 years and person B hold it for 20 years. But if you see the total investment, it is very differential. Okay, person has started the investment early, therefore that person has the higher corpus. The person B has the lower corpus because they invested after 10 years. So they lost the opportunity of compounding. Okay. 10 years of compounding person B has lost. That is why the person B accumulated only 24. So it is very important to understand the disciplined investing. Now, let's say you started investing now, but you stopped in between. You stopped it for 2 years or 3 years. That would also impact the corpus that you have accumulated at age 60. Okay. So the corpus could vary because of the risk appetite that you are in, because of the the tenure that you hold it, and then the if you stopped in between. So these things will affect your accumulation. Start with small steps in the form of SIP. SIP is the monthly investment. So when you created your budget, then you understood, then you decided that this is the kind of savings I can do monthly. So then start with that. Okay, it it is not we have a lot of instruments available where you can invest monthly also. Okay, it's not about investing only the lump sum amount. So In starting with that helps achieve financial goals. It brings the discipline, rupee cost averaging, and the convenience to achieve that financial goal. Where should your SIPs go? So again, it depends that where you are investing. There are various investment avenues available like equity, bonds, mutual funds, okay, gold, NPS, PPF, FD, real estate. It all depends the kind of risk that you are ready to take, time horizon, okay, how much to, so let's say we talked about creating a goal of travel, okay, it is coming after 3 years. So now you cannot invest in real estate because then real estate will take time to liquidate, okay. So then the kind of product that you need to choose is dependent on the time horizon that you have, okay, and the kind of risk that you are ready to take. So accordingly decide that which is the kind of investment avenue suits me. So mutual fund has different products, different categories. Equity, in the equity category also you have these different categories available: index, large cap, mid cap. So again, in the equity as well, the risk is very different. So large cap will give you some stability because it invests in top 100 companies also. Okay. Then mid cap, it small cap because it invests in the overcoming companies. So depends on the risk appetite also. The categories might change. Then hybrid, you have balance, dynamic, equity, savings, and debt. You have liquid, corporate bond, dynamic bond, and gilt. Again, debt has also a different kind of risk appetite. So in liquid fund, you can invest your emergency corpus too because it's easily liquidated. Okay, it's easily accessible, and the kind of risk that these categories take is lower. Diversification, it's very important because it avoids the large negative losses in one asset class. And because it is difficult to predict which asset class will do well in which time period, that is why it's important to not put all our eggs in one basket. So let me come to the example. So if you see, this is the chart which is telling you that the kind of returns these asset class have given in different years. Okay. So let's talk about Indian equity. 2016 it was giving you 1.8%, but 2017 it did well. Again in 2018 it was negative, but in 2019 it again did well. So to protect these kind of negative returns, you can invest in another instrument, another investment avenues, which will help you to meet your goals. Okay, because let's say if the markets are down, okay, and one goal is coming up next year or maybe this year, and your each and every penny is invested in equity market and the market is not doing well, okay, then how will you achieve your goal? So investing in debt instrument or maybe another product will help you to achieve that goal, because then you can, what you can do is uh, you can also start with deciding that after 3 years my this goal is coming, so start liquidating from the equity market so that whenever the goal requirement comes up, you don't have to really think about how the markets are performed. Okay, you can easily liquidate that instrument which is not maybe down or where you have deliberately decided to park the money so that you can achieve that. Okay? Review and rebalancing. So it can be done annually or it can be done alternate years as well. It completely depends when you need it. Okay. Review and rebalancing can come, okay, you can decide to do that if there are any changes happening in your life in terms of goals, in terms of income, expenses, savings. Okay. It could also mean that you are changing your job. Okay. It could also mean that you have decided that you don't want to continue working. Okay. You want to retire, take a financial freedom. Okay. So that is why these reviews of financial plan or rebalancing of the portfolio comes into the picture, and very important to do that whenever there are changes happening in our life. Okay? And outsource if needed. So keep it simple. Start with setting a budget, prepare emergency fund, evaluate your cover, set your goals, allocate assets according to your risk profile, invest systematically, diversify, and review and rebalancing periodically or whenever needed. Thank you. That's it from my side, and I'm happy to take the question.
I think now, ma'am, we can start with our Q&A. So there are few questions which were asked by attendees, so I think you can pick those questions. Hello, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
So
okay. Can you tell me the question that I have to answer?
ma'am, in Q&A you will be able to find those questions because
Okay. Sound echoing. Please sound.
in more option you will be able to find that.
Okay. So there's one question, dear ma'am. What is the ideal asset allocation you suggest for 40-year-old? Okay. See, as I mentioned, that it's important to understand your risk appetite first. Okay. For a 48-year-old, you might be looking for retiring, okay, early. So maybe you are looking for a stability. Okay, so that could mean that you will end up having a score like in a conservative way. Okay, so it totally depends the thinking that you have, the kind of situation that is happening in your life. It does not depend. It does not affect the kind of age that you are in. So I think there are softwares available where you can answer those 10 or 25 questions and get to know the risk appetite that you have, and then decide the asset allocation that you want to maintain. And as I said earlier also, that the instruments that you're going to select will totally depend on the time horizon that you have. Okay. So we don't know if you are investing for a long term goals, if you are investing for a short term goal. So it can be like 50-50. Okay. So that ways you can decide if I want to maintain 50% in equity and 50% in debt. But maybe you can work with the financial planner to understand the kind of risk that you can easily take, right? And then accordingly you can decide with the goals coming up and where you want to park your money. uh, where we can get the link for link. What is the right age for starting what is the right age for starting investment? As early as possible. When if you are starting your career now, please start with at least 1,000 a month. Okay, so as early you start investing, you will be able to achieve your goals very comfortably. What is the difference between asset allocation and diversification? So asset allocation uh, is the bifurcation of the assets, okay, and the percentage that you are comfortable with. Like I mentioned to the other person, that you know the kind of risk appetite, the kind of risk that you are comfortable with depends your asset allocation. Diversification is, let's say you are comfortable with 60% equity. Okay. Now within the equity, you need to diversify your portfolio. You can invest in equity mutual fund, and then in my one slide, I was mentioning that even equity funds have different categories. So it's not like the complete 60% has to go in large cap. Okay, it needs to be diversified. Maybe 10% in large cap, 15% in mid cap, 20% in small cap. So that's how you can diversify your portfolio. And asset allocation decides the comfort zone that you can maintain in the volatile market. I hope this answers your question. What should be the best option of investment for senior citizen personnel? Again, I think understand the risk appetite, work with the financial planner, financial advisor to understand and the time horizon that you have, to achieve the goals. It all depends on that. Since you mentioned investing in different assets, can you explain taxation on multi-asset allocation mutual fund? Multi-asset allocation mutual fund is a hybrid mutual fund. Okay. So it has different categories. If multi-asset allocation fund is managing higher equity, then the taxation would be for long term it's 12.5%, and short term it's 20%. Okay. If they are managing high exposure in debt, then the taxation would be like how the debt funds are taxed, okay, equal to slab. What are expense ratio and how do high fees impact long-term wealth? So mutual funds also have these expense ratios, and when you are investing your money, they charge fees on that because they are going to manage your portfolio. So they are going to charge you for those expenses. Okay. High fees impact, I think, work with the financial advisor to understand that how do these fees impacting your long-term wealth, and how you can save your penny. Ma'am, if I have 10 lakh available and only 1 year time to invest, is there any option available than FD if I want to invest with a company? Yes, there are different categories in debt mutual funds too. Uh, like I was mentioning in one of my slides that debt funds also have these categories like liquid, short-term debt, long-term debt. So you can maybe you can invest in arbitrage funds too, and liquid funds. So again, please contact your advisor to understand your risk appetite and accordingly take the call. Madam, by considering Indian scenario, how many years of expenses we should plan for retirement corpus? Is it 25, 30 times, etc. is a good scenario for a person who is about to retire at this point of time? See, as I was mentioning that we will have to factor the inflation. Okay. Let's say you are spending 10,000 a month. Okay. So you can't simply do this math 10,000 into 25 or 30. This is what I need to start investing. It's going to impact, the inflation is going to impact that kitty. Okay. So understand the kind of inflation that is going in the market and accordingly do the math that how much retirement corpus you need, and also understand that when do you want to retire. Okay. Maybe you can still work until age 60, right? But uh, just for the exercise, what you can do is say, I want to retire by 55 and start working towards it. Understand with age 55 how much corpus I need, and then you can start accumulating that corpus so that whatever you earn post age 55 will be a buffer and can be utilized for other requirements as well. How does inflation erode cash over time, and what is the minimum return needed to be? See, for now, since RBI is targeting to maintain the inflation 4 plus minus 2, and we might see inflation going down as well. Okay, so let's say if your inflation is 5%, then probably what you can target is maybe 2% higher than that, at least, right? That should be the minimum target value for you to start accumulating your corpus, your requirements, and whatever you earn more than that will help you to create a buffer kitty. Okay, maybe for the medical requirements, maybe for the things that you are not thinking for it right now, but be, it might come in the picture. How can students avoid falling into credit card and loan debt? So maybe you can, tell your kids, and if you're a student, then you can first decide. You can first prioritize, maybe make, setting a purpose that what are the kind of goals I want to achieve. Okay, what are the kind of expenses? Start with creating a budget, as I was mentioning. Okay, then identify your goals. Okay, and then start working towards it. You need to ask yourself, do I really need this, or do I want this? Okay, if you really need this, then maybe you can take the help of your credit card. But if you want it, and you can and if you can avoid it, please do that. Okay, so start creating budget, then start identifying your goals, and then working towards. Which is the best investment option for short term as well as long term? Uh, Please identify the kind of risk that you want to take, and then accordingly work with your financial advisor and decide the best investment option for you. Okay. Can we invest in large cap for a long term? Definitely. Yes, you can invest in large cap for a long term, but please, please, contact your advisor. Understand if this is the good investment avenue for you. What should be an ideal asset allocation strategy and investment amount for a 21-year-old earning 1 lakh monthly? I think since you just started earning, maybe then you can go for a high, equity, okay, asset class. And but as I was mentioning, that maybe check for online tools to understand your risk appetite, and then decide based on that what is the kind of asset allocation you can maintain, and then the investment environment. There is many doubts come during this. Please, can you share your mobile number? I think Sahil, you can answer this question. How to invest in mutual fund, shares, equity, crypto, which is better, bank saving or investing in market? Lakshmi, please understand your risk appetite and then decide which is the better option. Uh, for a person who is retired and don't have much goals, maybe bank savings would be a better option for that. But if you want to achieve your long-term goals, then investing in market would help you to beat the inflation. What is the first step a young professional should take toward achieving financial freedom? Identify your goals, understand what is the kind of purpose that you need to start building, and then what is the kind of investments you need to make for that goal, and then start working towards. Is it better to rebalance during high volatility or wait for stability? During high volatility, please continue your investment if you don't need it. Because when I was showing you that chart, in 1 year, equity market gave you negative return, but next year it did very well. So in fact, it happened in 2008 as well when the markets went down. Okay, people started withdrawing everything from the market. But in now you can just see how the markets are behaving. So if you don't need the money, please don't withdraw it. Please continue investing. If not possible, can you advise if there is any website for clarification in SEBI? For what? Sorry, Ashok, I'm not able to understand your question. Ma'am, is it mandatory to have Demat account before trading in stock, made share or debentures? I am not sure about this. I think you need Demat account, but I am not very well sure about this. Ma'am, what if you had this mindset at the age of 18? What you do differently? Okay, so my life journey started with saving. Uh, I think my first advisor was my mom. Okay, she taught me, the savings, and that's how I even when I was 18, I was thinking about savings only. So maybe you need a very good advisor for you, uh, who can taught you well that how you can work towards your financial journey. How to invest in SIP and minimum amount needed to invest in SIP. You can identify where you want to start investing your monthly investment, and then check what is the minimum investment required for that particular avenue, and then start investing towards. You can directly, let's say, if you want to invest in mutual funds, then you can directly go to that website, or you can talk with your financial advisor, and they can start your SIP. Or you can, if you are visiting the mutual fund website directly, then they have the option to start the investment. Should we add cryptocurrency in our asset allocation portfolio or not? Please, Ritesh, talk with your advisor and understand the kind of risk it holds and if does it suit your portfolio. Minimum amount to be invested in mutual fund. Amit, please check each and every mutual fund, and you'll get this detail uh, in the website only, and then decide. Hello, ma'am. Between multi-asset allocation and flexi cap MF, which one should be better as an investment of 5-year time horizon? Um, it depends. It depends on your risk appetite. You can decide. I think both the instruments should be good, but please talk to your advisor and understand which one is better. In the presentation, you have compared investment at 30 as well as 40 years for 20 years. But what if the person starting step late starts with higher amounts, say 2 lakhs? So again, it depends the kind of returns that you are generating in the portfolio, and accordingly, maybe let's say the person who started early is taking a very less risk, is a very conservative investor. So you might end up generating high amount because you are investing higher corpus. One, you are investing a higher amount than the person who started early, and you are taking a higher risk. Okay. So now it is telling you that if you are investing late, then to achieve that corpus or to beat that corpus, you need to take higher risk. You need to invest higher amount. Then only you will be able to achieve that corpus. So to avoid those things, avoid to take risk, avoid to investing higher is what we generally suggest to start early. As a student recently comparing what's the best way to start investing in equity, you can identify the kind of, let's say, mutual funds, the kind of funds that are doing well. and then what is the kind of investment that you can do, and then start investing. Can SIP may be refunded in within 1 month? It's not refunded, it can be withdrawn. But if you are withdrawing it within 1 year or 6 months, one, you'll have to pay a tax penalty, okay? And there will be a penalty as well in the fund. So wherever you are investing, please check what is the kind of penalty that they hold. The exit load. It says it. The right term is exit load. So there's an exit load. So if the fund has that exit load, then you'll have to pay that exit load, and then you'll be able to withdraw your money. And then if it is less than 1 year, let's say if it is an equity fund, and if it is less than 1 year, then you'll be end up paying capital gain. Most of them trying to invest in direct plan. How to convince them to go for regular? Maybe you can do a math. Show them that if you're going for a regular plan, then this is the kind of expenses you will end up paying. And if you are investing in a direct plan, then you will be able to save this. Is there any good financial advisor online tool which we can avail services and also budget friendly? Sorry, I'm not aware about this. How to become financial analyzer and investment banker? Where we join institute. You can check online. I am also not sure which one is the best institute these days. Yes, I think we are done with the question.
Yes, ma'am. I can see you have addressed all the questions which were asked. So, let me see. I think now we can, ma'am, conclude the session. As I can see, there are no more questions by the
Sure.
attendees. So before leaving, I have launched one feedback poll. So do participate in that poll and help us understand regarding the webinar, how it was actually. And also I'm launching a reel or a video, which is the NISM's initiative, that is NISM reel making contest. So yes, so which will help you only to understand better.
NISM Reel Making Contest 2026 is back. Lights, camera, finance. Financial literacy isn't just about money, it's about making better life decisions. One story can help millions. Understand finance better. Use your creativity to simplify. Saving, investing, budgeting. Smart financial decisions. Create, inspire, educate. Bring your ideas alive through short films, skates, creative reels, role plays. Make financial literacy engaging, relatable, memorable. Get creative and create slogans, suggested themes, smart investing, regulators, investor-friendly initiatives, fraud and scam awareness, safe investing practices, financial literacy for everyone. Reel guidelines, 50 to 120 seconds, any language. English subtitles recommended. No plagiarism. Respectful content only. Who can participate? Students, creators, young professionals. Anyone passionate about financial literacy. Win exciting cash prizes. First prize 50,000 rupees. Second prize 35,000 rupees. Third prize 25,000 rupees. 10 consolation prizes 5,000 rupees each. Your story, your creativity, your impact. Submit and inspire. Financial empowerment. Hashtag NISM Reel Contest.
So yes, that was the video about NISM reel making contest. For more information, you all can visit the link which I have shared in chat. So yes, thank you so much, Malvika ma'am, for the insightful session and for helping us understand the spirit of financial freedom. And we also thank you to all the participants for joining us today. We hope you found this session informative and valuable. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. Thank you so much, Malvika ma'am. Thank you. Yes. Now I request IT team to close the session.